Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How is everybody doing today? Are you guys doing great? Did you have a good week? Did your kids stress you out? Did your family? Did your job? Did you overcome it? Did you do something that makes you happy? Because I know I did. I went and I bought a crap ton of books. And at this point, we're just going to have to break it up into two different book hauls. I'm just going to have to go through the books and show you guys because today, I was able to fill up a bag for $5. Me and my girlfriend filled up a bag. Amazing. We got a bunch of books that I just cannot wait to dig into. But again, back to the video. Today is my September wrap up. And I read 3 books this month. Just 3. 3 books this month. I have a full-time job. I work on the weekends, like I told you guys. And I fit in the reading when I can. So, yeah. The first book that I read this month and I really enjoyed was Ninth House. This book is just all the things you need if you're into like fantasy, dark fantasy, paranormal, dark academia, and you want to get immersed in a book. This is it's a pretty big one. I feel like not a big one. It's not big, but you don't really get to the juice, the meat and potatoes of the book until you are at least 250 pages in. At least, maybe even 300 pages in. But it is a good book. It is, I've already talked about this book a million times. And the ending, guys, the ending just got me. This might be a spoiler. So I'm giving you the opportunity to click off now. Just pause me. Fast forward a little bit. They are on Alex. There's a guy that goes missing. His name is Darlington. He goes missing, and he was the one that was actually training Alex to become the Dante for the secret societies. And the Dante is basically the person that is overseeing the secret societies and making sure that nothing happens when they perform these rituals. And guys, let me just talk about these rituals real quick because Dark Academia really has me. It has me because I feel like this stuff is possible and it's probably happening right now. Okay? They steal people. Like, they take people from the hospital and they do things to them, like rituals. They perform rituals on them and then just kind of put them back in the hospital. And since some of these people are mentally unstable, I guess nobody's going to believe them if they tell them that, listen, I woke up, in an auditorium under bright lights and people were like in my insides, trying to foretell the future. It doesn't sound believable, but it makes me scared that people that have money can cover these things up. Now we know that it happens. Maybe that's why it's intriguing. But yeah, a guy, Darlington, goes missing, and there's somebody else that's murdered, and they're trying to find out how this happened. To make a long story short, though, the next book is called Hellbent, and let's just say Alex is on her way to hell, and I'm down for the ride. I'm down for the ride because I want to see how it all pans out. I want to see what happens to Alex. I want to see if she gets the guy back. And yeah, it's a good book. So if I spoiled it for anybody, I am sorry. But I will say this is something that, it's a read. You have to read it. You have to read it like you don't read everything else, right? Right. The next book, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now, I was zipping through it. I couldn't wait to find out what was going on with Evelyn. I found her quite conceited. But again, there's not anything really wrong with it, especially the way that she described it. It's kind of like, she acted as a man would act in his confidence and was villainized for it, in a sense, I love the book because it is like hearing juicy gossip from one of your best friends, right? So your friend is sitting down, you guys are having great conversation. She's telling you about all of her juicy relationships, and I was here for it. I listened to it. I loved it. And then the end came, and I wanted to slap the shit out of Evelyn Hugo. I really did. How dare she get that poor girl? Oh gosh, okay. I'm going to spoil it. This video is full of spoilers. I'm going to put it in the caption. But you and I, if you read this book, you know what I mean. She got the writer, the person that is writing his story, to write her story almost as a way to apologize to her for something that had happened years prior, but it just wasn't right. Everything about it didn't sit right for me. It bothered me so much. I got it. Oof. Okay, spoiler. I'm just gonna do it. So I guess the woman that is writing Evelyn Hugo's story is a daughter of a guy she left on the side of the road that was, in a relationship with somebody she was married to, the guy that she was married to, one of her husbands. Now, granted, Evelyn gives reasons for why she did this, and, she's, a Hollywood star and all this stuff, but the fact that this girl has to live with the fact that she thought her dad died a different way and it wasn't really his fault just had me so sad. It had me sad for her. On top of that, she admired Evelyn. She looks up to her. And then she sat down and listened to her whole story. And then she hit her with that news. And I mean, it was a shocker for sure. But I would have wanted to smack the crap out of her. Just saying. And then finally, the other book that I read. I should take a break, right? I should take a breath before I go to the next book. But anyway, the next book that I read this month is Piranesi. Now, I'll tell you, when I first started reading it, and this little hair is going to bother me, but whatever. When I first started reading this book, I was like, what is going on? First off, I will say in a prior video, I said, with the goldfinch, I felt like I was like, oh, what is going on? But I realized quickly that it's a coming of age story, and you really had to connect with Theo and his relationships to the goldfinch and the things that happened throughout his life. This book is completely different. This is I don't know what's going on at all. For a good portion of the book, he's kind of just describing this labyrinth that he is living in. I will say, quickly, when I met the other in this book, I kind of figured out what was happening. Like, an idea of what was happening. I felt like, and again, spoilers. I felt like he was like not really in this world, but he thought that he was in this world because it just seemed weird that the other was able to get material and things that Piranesi was, did not have access to. And by the way, that's not his name. It's just a name that the other gives him so that he won't remember his real name. So, yeah, I feel like it's almost like living in the upside down. Right? Like there's another realm somewhere that you're living. And Piranesi doesn't really know that. He doesn't know that, but I fell in love with his character. I fell in love with the way that he saw life. Even the dead people that he cared for in this labyrinth, he gave them offerings. He made sure they were comfortable. He talked to them. The person that was oppressing him, he did not want to die. He very much always believed him. He was always thankful for everything that he received. And it kind of made me sad. Like, it really made me connect with him. I wanted to just give him a hug and say, everything's going to be okay. You deserve more than just a new pair of shoes once every 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's not okay. That's and then the guy had like a full-blown suit all the time. It was just interesting. I really did enjoy this book. Like, I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, and then some people will say like this book was stupid and they didn't get it. And I don't know. I felt like we were in this mind of a victim. Basically, he's a victim, and he doesn't even know that he's been victimized. He almost falls in love with the place that he was held captive in, and maybe it helps him look inward. Maybe it helped him appreciate, different things in life. I don't know. But for some reason, this book just like, I just love it. And I just love Piranesi. Like, I really, really like him. He's so sweet. He's so sweet. And I would not be giving this book away because, like I said, I will be reading books and then giving them to the free little library, just donating them, shipping them out, because if I'm not going to read it again and again and again and again, I don't need it in the house, take it all. But yeah, those are the 3 books that I met. Mouth is dry. Sorry for all the noises, guys. But those are the 3 books that I read for the month of September. and I really enjoyed them. So anyways, that's my September wrap up. And my mouth is dry, and I probably had a white cast the entire time. It is what it is. I will catch you guys in my next video, and I think it's either going to be my October TBR. Let's see how that goes. We have book hauls, and I also have some historical fiction books that I just want everybody to read, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, if you stood this long, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you guys soon, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.